Alright fuckers, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap. What is artwod? The best draftsmanship platform to learn drawing from imagination. Link in description. I'm not a shill. I am a shill. I'm just not affiliated. Alright, artwod is the reason I can draw like this. Alright. Now that the intro's out of the way, get your pen, get your pencil, let's draw along. Alright, welcome to my channel, blah blah blah. Alright, cool. Okay, so we're on the 24th rep. We're gonna continue onwards with this, right, which is, like, look at this specific angle, right? Really figuring out this angle of the portrait reference that I have. I guess if you're interested, you're gonna continue watching. If not, you can fuck off and like every video while you're at it. But what are we at right now? So basically, what is this? The portrait reference. What am I saying? The portrait roadmap, the section we're on, we're looking at a portrait reference. We're projecting a box, a sphere inside that box, and center lines inside that sphere inside the box. Man, my lines are fucking dog shit. This is what happens when you don't draw for 2 days, because I didn't draw on the weekend. I drew on Friday. It is now Monday. Right, Monday. But, thought I heard something. Is that just my voice? My own voice is grating to the ear? Anyways, yeah, I'm thinking of being an absolute fucking scumbag. I think it's actually, time to start clickbaiting even harder than I already do with my videos. And by the way, while I'm talking, I'm drawing, right? Like, I'm already looking at the reference and projecting the box inside of it. Really trying to figure out this angle. Right, really trying to figure out this angle, ensure that I have a large enough box to visualize the sphere inside of. Very difficult because I'm trying to calculate everything at once, which is also a skill, right? It's all skills, all the way up, skills all the way up. Well, let me at least get this angle. I'm pretty sure, I've said this so many times with this fucking guy's face, like this angle, but I am pretty sure this is, well, I'm gonna work towards being pretty sure that, there you go, that's better. I'm gonna work towards being pretty sure that this is the fucking angle. Right, and now that my pen is finally absorbing, like, it's producing the level of ink that is required, right, like it's absorbing properly, now I can really practice my lines, which, as you can see, are fucking dog shit, right? Dog shit, absolute dog shit lines. So that's a good thing, right? Having dog shit lines is the first step to having not so dog shit lines, right? But again, yeah, we're looking at the reference, I'm trying to project a box onto it, and then I go the extra step beyond, which is to try to wrap hard surface like shapes around it, because, you know, like helmet, hard surface, that type of stuff, right? Hard surface is anything that's just machinery related, right? Product design related. Yeah, anything mechanical, that's hard surface. That's basically, you know, vehicles, all that shit. Like anything that has to do with understanding the shapes and the manipulations that are around that. If you don't know what the fuck I'm saying about shapes and manipulations, go to artwod.com. they will give you the work, right? But that's their whole thing. They give you the work, not the shortcut, which is exactly what you need if you're a pussy, right? If you're a pussy but you don't want to be pussy, right? If you don't want to eat pussy, well, this is not the channel for you. For I have visited China and they've showed me the way. No animal is off the limit, including yourself. The worst animal of all, Homo sapiens. I don't know what I'm saying. I actually don't know what I'm saying. This is like shit joke after shit joke. First it was like, let's make a racist Asian joke, but then it wasn't even racist. It's just, you know, they do have different foods that they eat. How can I turn this political? Trump, the orange man. There you go. Now I'll get retention. But anyways, as I was saying, I was trying to be, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but I'm trying to be an absolute scumbag. I think it's time to really be a scumbag and to start, like, just mentioning bigger art channels and just saying some stupid, like, stupidly obscene shit, right? Basically clickbait to the fucking moon. And I think that'll just come down to have to come down to, like, mentioning Proco, mentioning Sam Does Arts again. I've already done it a couple times, right? Who else? And I'm really trying to think about which way this fucking face is oriented. This guy's eyes are obviously the indicator, but is it something like this? Like, very subtle, right? Okay, but this box is not nowhere near that. Like the front plane, front plane is very small. Don't get me wrong, but it's also important to understand where it's. I think this is okay. I think that's okay. Yeah, that seems to be. Yeah, that seems to be decently alright. I think this is relatively accurate. And again, trying to project the sphere inside of this. It's really hard to see the center lines. I think I've just been. I can't tell if I'm getting better or worse, to be honest. But what I do know is I'm consistently trying to get better and to understand, which is all that matters, right? So I would encourage you to also consistently try to get better and to try to understand, because the trying is really all that you're capable of. I say this shit all the time, right? But anyways, I'm thinking this video's title will be, I don't know, Proco has, I don't know, diddled my butt. Something like that. I want it to be something really, really stupid that would make people like, no way, who is this guy? What's going on with this channel? And then within seconds they're like, okay, I don't give a shit. But those seconds are all that matter. Those seconds is what will allow me to have the retention that I need, right? So it's all a strat. Ooh, look at this horrible line. Do you see how shaky that is? Amazing. Oof, I'm pretty sure this bottom plane I have diverged in perspective. Jesus, look at those lines. Yeah, see, I can't do this. Like, I really struggle with this angle, pushing in, pulling in, like from this specific, like anything that requires my fingers pushing in and pulling in like that, right? Like this is fine, even like these are okay, but it's all skills, right? So again, really trying to see the fucking perspective. And yeah, this guy's face, the center line is way off to the left, right? At least our left. It's very foreshortened. Man, it's so hard. Like, I'm really trying to think about that sphere right now, but I can't. And that's the most important part, is like the fact that, not the fact that I can't, but the fact that I'm really trying to make sense of it all. That's also wrong, right? I didn't center it properly. And same here. You know, this line, like my lines in general, because I haven't drawn in a couple days. I mean, I say that, but they're always pretty bad. My lines are always pretty shit. I actually don't know when my lines will be decent. Like, I'm actually unsure. You know, I'm genuinely not sure when my lines will be decent. But I think as long as I put enough effort and just enjoy the fact that they're shit, you know, my brain will do the rest. I'll be like, oh, you're really liking not being good? I'm like, yes. It's like, okay, great. Now you're amazing. But anyways, really trying to see that sphere, right? Really trying to see the center lines. It is obviously, not obviously, but like this is the minor axis. It's going this way. So it should be an ellipse. That's like this, right? The same thing here, should be an ellipse. That's like that, like the front of the ellipse, right? It's a partial ellipse on the sphere. If what I'm saying doesn't make any sense, what all I'm trying to say is the fact that within this box, there is a perfect sphere that's embedded in it, right? The center lines that I'm talking about, vertical and horizontal, are essentially the front half of the ellipse that covers the form of that sphere, right? The sphere is curved, right? It is spherical, it is elliptical, it is not a flat plane, it is a curved plane. Therefore, right, this ellipse that is embedded within this plane of this perspective, right, and has the same minor axis, when you project it outward to the middle of the sphere, it will be this partial ellipse, right, which is in perspective with this. Same thing with the horizontal one, right? Because all this horizontal ellipse is this perspective roughly, and then we're just trying to make sure, like, this is not like accurate to this. Like, I'm just giving an example. This is not the same one, right? Just in case it feels confusing. I'm just trying to make a point to myself and hopefully anybody watching or listening, right? And then the front of that is what the sphere is embedded in. Why does this matter? It doesn't, because I'm not drawing a sphere. Like, it doesn't in the sense that, not because I'm trying to draw it, but it does because we are trying to project, internalize, and visualize 3 layers of perspective, and the calculations within those 3 layers of perspective all at once at the same time. If that sounds difficult, it is extremely difficult, which is why it is worth doing, right? So let me say that again. It is extremely difficult. It is 100% very difficult. 100% requires a fuck ton of cognitive energy, because that's what art is. It's expending cognitive energy, right? That's primarily, like, drawing is a thinking skill, right? So I'll keep saying that as long as it needs to be said, but drawing is a thinking skill, and the skill is the thinking, in the sense that, like, just how often, how much you're trying to make sense of everything that is occurring, right? Like, even again, like, right now I'm just placing general features in order, not because I care about the accuracy of the features themselves, but I just want to get the general proportions down, and I want to make sure that I understand where it's being placed on the perspective of the plane, right? And that is also a very difficult skill, right? It's also a very difficult skill, because you have to understand the perspective of what you're drawing and where you're drawing it, right? And how it relates to the plane that you're drawing it on. Do I understand it? I'm not going to say I do. I'm not going to say I really do at all. But I just... Oh god, I have to sneeze. Ooh. Oh, fuck, it's gone. God damn it, I was going to make some retarded, like, type sneeze, but... Type sneeze, right? Type shit, type sneeze. Anyways, yeah, the bottom lip is way too big. But... way too small. But again, this is just relatively for me to understand. The main thing I'm trying to think about always is the box, the sphere inside the box, and the center lines inside the sphere inside the box, because that's the point of this exercise from artwod. It's just look at a reference and put a box over it. Obviously, they do not require you to go to extra mile. I want to say, like, this is not what's required, but it's what I'm doing to make things much harder for myself in the short term and much more sustainable for myself in terms of an actual proper draftsmanship ability to visualize and wrap shapes around it in the long term, right? They don't ask you to do 23 reps, they ask you to do 3 reps. I plan to do 50 reps because that's the rule I've set for myself, called the 50 rep rule, which is do it for 50 repetitions. If you understand the concept, continue onwards to the next exercise. Like if you feel as if you've applied the concept, right? If not, continue for another 50 reps. So far, I've been able to apply and understand decently well. So, you know, it's good. It's good. That means it's all about intentional volume, right? It really doesn't take that much repetitions, or that many repetitions, pardon my own way. But let's see, the ears here, bars, the ears, yeah, the ears here. I don't know why, I can't really call it bars again, but here I am. Here I am, ear, huh? Anyways, I just don't know. But okay, that seems okay for now. And again, like really trying to hold that projection, cannot speak. And now, this is the fun and extremely difficult part, which is holding this box, holding the sphere inside that box, and holding, and also like I really struggled with foreshortening, as you can see, like foreshortening the other side of the face, like you see how it's very off center, but over here it's much more centered. So I clearly, and this was just a complete fuck up. This was very difficult. Like all of these I've not been able to consistently foreshorten or condense that other side of the face, which is what I need to work on, right? So again, like I need to be able to see. And now it's about designing, right? Like what is the quote unquote design that we're going with? Obviously, I'm trying to think about large shapes. There's so much with the design. So again, like I'm trying to think about the box, the sphere inside the box, and the center lines inside the sphere inside the box, right? Like the vertical and horizontal center lines. That's already extremely difficult because thinking about a box, that's already very hard. You're trying to project an entire fucking grid. And me, because I haven't trained myself to angle the box and to hold that at this specific size, right? This size, that's also another skill I have to think about. So that's very difficult, right? Which is why I'm ghosting a lot, you know, which is essentially like intermediary, right? Between the act of doing versus the act of and the act of seeing, right? Like act of seeing, visualization, however we visualize, right? Trying to project things that don't exist onto the page in our mind, whatever, right? And to bring it to life. Doing, actually applying while visualizing. Ghosting is like that in between where like you can visualize and you can really to reinforce. See, and this isn't good. Like me, what I'm doing here, this is fucking retarded. I don't know why I keep spazzing my hand out, but this is much more intentional. This is not intentional. Do not do this. This is a fucking waste of time. Like, what are you doing here? You're just gonna confuse yourself, and I was just confusing myself. But this at least sets intention, right? Like again, the minor axis, calculating, right? The sphere, the general size of the sphere, thinking about the silhouette that it's contained in, or the box that it's contained in, right? And thinking about the proportions in relation to that. That already helped a lot, just explaining that out loud and trying to visualize. Again, this is a very difficult skill. Very, very difficult skill. So now hard surface design, right? Ooh, hard surface design. What a fucking catch-all term that doesn't mean shit because design is extremely difficult. Big, medium, small shapes. What the fuck does that mean? How do I know the ratios? How do I know the angles? How do I know the relative like lengths, widths, heights, and the different manipulations in terms of like this is jutting out, this is jutting in, this is connecting to this, and then function, right? Like what function does this serve? All those things isn't something that has to be thought about at once, but those are things that are thought about when it comes to design, right? And those are things I want to keep in my mind, and that's very difficult when I can barely just about hold this projection of the three layers. And that's why I always keep asking myself, am I in extreme discomfort? If the answer is yes, good. If the answer is I could be in more, that's when we push ourselves to be in more extreme discomfort. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do, because clearly like establishing the center line it has to be important, right? Establishing the center line, because that's what's been fucking with my ability to foreshorten. So I need to be able to think about a large general shape that is wrapping around the sphere that I can establish as my center line, right? Then this is the difficult part, because when I'm not drawing, like I can think about, oh, like what if that wrapped like this, and it's all these cool shapes. But now that I am drawing, I am thinking about so many different things. Adding another thing to casually ideate on top of, like adding a general shape to ideate on top of this is extremely difficult. So now what I'm thinking about is, okay, maybe I'll have a large shape wrap around here. A large shape as in like a box, right? Some sort of box angling out and wrapping around here, right? And again, while trying to hold this extremely difficult projection, right, of this box. So Oh, see, I'm in extreme discomfort right now, and it feels so good. Like, I'm making so many mistakes in my mind and on the page. Like, I'm in extreme discomfort, right? And this is where you want to be. And it won't seem like much. And for hundreds of hours, at least with me, because I'm extremely average and I'm extremely fucking, like, it requires a lot more work for me to be even halfway mediocre. But because I'm extremely average and because this is extremely difficult, right? For me, it'll take hundreds of hours to even understand slightly what I'm doing. But what's the main return on investment right now? Okay, the box, the sphere inside the box, and the center lines inside the sphere inside the box, right? Keep calculating those. And now it just comes down to try to think, like, while trying to hold that projection, just think about one general large shape that you can fit inside of this. Okay, that's my only job right now. Just think about one general large shape. So, oh man, this is so fucking difficult. This is amazing. Again, like, it doesn't look like I'm doing much, which is why I highly encourage everybody to draw along, because you're not getting value from watching me right now. You will 10 years from now when you come back to this, you're like, oh yes, this is why it mattered. But right now, because it's hard for you to see why what I'm doing matters, you might as well just draw along, right? But let's see. And again, like, the thing is, like, I can say, like, oh, I've looked at Pinterest designs, which I did. I literally looked at Pinterest designs before I even, because I keep looking at hard surface designs and like different examples and shit. But seeing and then being like, maybe I can do that, and doing are two completely different skills, right? And they're skills is what they are. So like, they're two completely different skills. But you know what? We need to establish something. So, and we need to do it with confidence. Like, my lines obviously lack confidence, but if I do that, and then now I need this to be a large shape that's wrapping around the sphere to some degree, right? So I need to think about, there you go, maybe something like this. Okay, so clearly I'm already kind of fucking this up, but let's see. Okay, I'm thinking maybe something jutting out like so. No, see, like, this is the thing. My mind really wants to just center this. It is not centered. It is not centered, and I cannot center it, right? Not in, like, the very clear way. It has to be foreshortened. Oh my god, dude, my brain is fucking dying from this. But I have no idea what the shape is going to be either. I have no idea. I'm trying to think about, like, a general large shape that I can attach, but let's see. Okay, I can't see the sphere anymore either, so we've lost that, right? Let's see, is this, so if this is the center, then this is what more space has to be attributed to. Okay, and then this is the bottom, so something like, if I have something curve around here, which who knows if I will, right? But dude, my brain is hurting. I can't think of anything, and this is good. This is good. Like, the fact that it's hurting to this extent, because I'm trying to hold all of these things at once. I'm trying to calculate. I'm trying to make sure everything makes sense, and that's the way it should be. Because I'm calculating really hard right now. I'm in extreme discomfort. Probably nothing's gonna happen here for a very long time, but I'm gonna try my fucking best to make sure things make sense. Let's see if that is the box, right? This is the center. The center is way more to the left, so this is the center. Yeah, see, I fucked that up before. So this is the center, and then that's the sphere. See, I can't see this. I can't see the box anymore, the general box, because now I'm thinking about the shapes that's going around the sphere. So now I have to understand what the sphere is as well inside the box, right? I'm trying to explain everything I'm doing. By the way, talking while drawing is also an extremely difficult skill. So that's why I wanted, but I do want to explain everything I'm thinking, right? And how difficult it is and how much my brain is unable to hold on to any of this, but I'm going to keep trying, which is all that matters, right? So that's the center. Could do something like this, right? If we do something like that, something like this, okay, and then if this coming out this way, then okay, so this angle that I'm projecting out is actually angled, so it's angled. How is it angled? It's angled. See, I need to calculate this angle. What is this angled like? It is angled like, let's see. It is angled. Oh, dude, this is hurting my brain so much. I fucking love this feeling. But this is obviously angled. Okay, so I need to explain this to myself, right? So I just did this and I intuitively did it, but I need to think about how it's actually angled. This is my below perspective. I took a cylinder and then I pushed it outwards, right? I went from this, I pushed it from like this perspective, I brought it down, and then I turned it out. So in that case, this perspective, is that what makes sense? This perspective brought down, took it out? Oh, fuck, man, intuition's a bitch, because now my intuition's actually what's fucking with me here. If I do this intuitively, how badly will it go? And now my pen went to shit for some reason. Okay, let's see. So I got something like this right now, right? These two spheres. And now I just need to make sure that this is all wrapping around a box and a sphere. Sorry, this is all contained with inside a box and wrapping around a sphere that makes sense. Let's see. Oh man, okay, so I'm trying to think of like a shape maybe that's here, but you know what? It's probably better to do something like this, where I have a shape that is, again, centering this, hopefully. How do I want this to wrap around? I really don't know what I'm thinking about right now. Like, I'm gonna rest my brain. I'll be right back. Give me like 10 seconds, I'm gonna rest my brain, because that was really difficult. I encourage you to rest my brain. I encourage you to rest my brain, what the fuck? I encourage you to rest your brain as well. Okay, be right back. Oof, this is really hurting my brain. I'm trying to incorporate the quote-unquote word play, or the act of play, right? But I don't really know what that means. It's just ideation and what ifs, and like not really worrying about the outcome, right? Like, yeah, I don't care about the outcome in the sense that it's fine. Like, if it goes to shit, it goes to shit. It's not a big deal for me. What matters more to me is just whether I understand what I'm doing. Like, that is what the going to shit kind of means for me. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, things only go to shit, in my opinion, if I'm not trying to understand what's occurring, right? But right now I am trying to understand what's occurring. I just need to figure out how these shapes can make sense. Like, how can they connect? Oof, man, this is really fucking hurting my brain. So how can they connect? Because if I think about the sphere, if I think about the box the sphere is inside of, right? I could maybe just do something like this. I could actually just maybe do something like this, right? Because this is the sphere, right? This is this the sphere anymore? I don't fucking know. I think I lost the sphere. Yeah, I definitely lost the sphere. So if we try to bring it back, yeah, if we try to bring the sphere back, let me just try to put it back in the box that it's supposed to be in, right? There you go, something like this, right? Okay, so that's connected. That's okay. And we can have something like these are also slightly... let's see, what do I want to do here? I want to make it so that these are... Interesting, maybe I can make a elliptical cutout here. Right, because I keep losing the box. That's just a fact. I keep losing the box. So now I just need to make sure that I understand what the fuck it is that I'm doing. So if this is the center, obviously, like this is the center, then I just need to make sure that whatever I do has some merit, for lack of a better word, because I can't think of these large shapes. I'm generally struggling really hard to think of the... Oh wait, maybe I could do something like this, right? If that's going out that way, then this is... Let's see. We could do something like that, right? That's going inwards there, the sphere. This is something that's jutting out. And maybe there's something jutting out here as well. And I need to obviously also think about the box. Again, the box, it's always about the box. So let's try to put the sphere in there. How do we want things to connect here? Oh, this is really fucking hurting my brain. How do we want things to connect here? How do we want things to make sense? Right? Are we gonna center it in a manner that... There you go, that's the center. That's the center. I clearly have already fucked it up. But I'm trying to think, like, maybe some type of shape like this. Does that make sense? Okay, it's still... Okay, I think it's already, like, I fucked up the thing. But... Or the centering aspect of it, but I'm just trying to think right now. Right, maybe some little cutout like that. It's so hard to figure out how these things could or should connect. Right, and I know there's no, like, one right way, but... one day I will figure this out, I'm telling you this. One day I will fucking figure this out. Let's see if there's, like, another large shape that we can attach here. Well, maybe we could just do something like this. Right? If that's the way it's going... If I'm thinking about the perspective... Okay, that's a little bit better. It's still, like, not near as foreshortened as I would like it to be, genuinely. But I think... There you go. If we do something like that. Right? Keeping it in perspective. Am I in extreme discomfort? No. Let's be in more extreme discomfort. Whew! Oh, man. This is fucking my brain. Okay. And then, okay, so what I did as I'm just thinking of, like, adding a box here, right? So, like, adding a box, and then what if this is actually something that juts out, like so, like that, right? And is this a sphere, or sorry, is this a half a cylinder? Like, what kind of jut out is this? Is the real question, but perhaps, yeah, how do I want this to connect? Maybe I could do something like that where it connects like this. I don't fucking know, bro. This is so hard to figure out. And again, just for the center's sake, if I think about the sphere, which I haven't been able to, I'm really struggling to think about that sphere right now, right? But if we do something like this, and then maybe this is just my large shape, right? Maybe. Oh, but see, then that fucks everything up, so I have to do something like this. See, so I didn't think ahead. I just did not think properly, and it's completely off perspective. The plight, right? The plight. Maybe this is some sort of attachment here, right? Some cylindrical attachment. I'll keep this centered. Nope, I fucked up the centering. Okay, there you go, that's better. And, okay, so how do we want this to even make sense? Can it make sense? What kind of... I haven't been thinking about proper large shapes, clearly. That doesn't make sense. None of this made sense. Beautiful mistakes, which are very difficult to understand. Right? Oh my god. I love how this session is just me being like, oh my god, oh my god, and making fucking noises. While everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? What is this guy doing? At least that's what I assume everybody's doing, where they're like, what? I'm so confused. Why is he just moaning while he's drawing? Because apparently when you moan while you draw, it actually improves your ability to retain the information. Right? I've actually stopped doing anything but moan. I don't even draw anymore, I just moan. So... it's interesting. It's interesting how it all works. Okay, so how does it connect? These... Like, okay, see, I wish I didn't make that mistake, but I did, so there's no point of wishing I didn't. Right? I'm just trying to think, like, how did these connect? Am I too obsessed with making them connect? Perhaps, perhaps. Like, I don't understand hard surface shapes, clearly. And it's, the sphere's over here, bars, again, I guess, but let's see if this is this fucking, because like this side I'm supposed to be seeing a lot more of, so that is fine. I'm just trying to think if there's anything with this shape that I can do. Maybe I can just make it come in like this. Something like that, right? Where it's jutting in. And there you go. Maybe that's something that's attached to it. Okay, it's hard to even explain these manipulations that are occurring right now, because that's like, I'm not gonna say confidently that I understand what I'm doing either. I'm just trying to maybe, okay, like add a cylinder here, perhaps, right? Is there maybe a manipulation like this occurring, right, where it's slight multiple rounding? Who knows? Who knows? It's starting to look a little bit better. At least the larger shapes are a bit more defined. I think with this, if I multiple round this on this side, it'll make this make a lot more sense over here if I do the same thing over here, right? That's a little bit better. Now it just comes down to trying to make sense of all this, right? And maybe this is just something that was attached like so, right? Like a box that was attached there. Who knows? And then again, this is the bottom angle. See, like I keep losing that bottom angle. It's very difficult. So what is something that can be done that just states that this is the bottom angle? Well, it's gonna be very obvious to me, I guess, but I think the only thing that can be done, and again, the important distinction is that I think the only thing that can be done, not that this is the only thing that can be done, right, is just to create a sphere that establishes this perspective and attaches in a really retarded manner like so. 'Cause clearly I didn't know what the fuck I was doing there. Oof, man. One day I will get down hard surface. One day I'll actually understand what I'm doing. Okay, and then what's on the other side? What's here? What do we, because we still got this entire thing, this entire side of the sphere. Or should I just leave it like this? Yeah, see, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I need to go back to drawing simple. I say this every fucking time too, of course, but I really need to go back to just trying to keep, yeah, trying to project something simple, because trying to project something complex is actually fucking with my ability to do it, right? So yeah, would you look at that? Viggy finally learns after 50 million attempts. Something like, yeah, where, see, it's coming, where it's jutting out there. It's not too bad, it's just nothing amazing at all. There you go, whatever. It looks like ass, it looks like ass, we'll just leave it. I'm gonna rest my brain. I'm gonna try to hold this projection again. I lost so much at the end of that. I'm struggling. One day I will figure out hard surface design. Don't get me wrong. Like, I just need to figure out what worked and what didn't. Like, what did I figure out here? We need to look at, like, what did I understand here? Well, it was wrapping, right? I was wrapping it around. So that I understood, or I was starting to understand that things will wrap around each other. It's always one step forward, 5 steps back for me, to be honest. So what did I not understand here regarding that? Well, I didn't wrap things. They're kind of just awkwardly placed, right? Nothing seems like it's actually wrapping around the sphere. There's nothing indicating that, oh, hey, look, here's the perspective, right? Here's where things are wrapping around. I have nothing that indicates that. I have nothing that even connects to that properly. Like, even something like this would have made a huge difference, right? Because then it could have gone across the other side, and that would have been an okay foreshortening, but nothing happened there. that's one thing I can at least say, like, that must be it. Like, that's one of the things I can say, like, okay, yeah, that's something I think is relatively accurate, whatever. What's another thing is, like, clearly I didn't think about the perspective properly enough here. Either way, I'm gonna rest my brain. I'll get back to it. I'm gonna keep trying this perspective, and I gotta really, really, really just keep doing my best. Again, I'm not frustrated or angry with myself. It's hard, man. Hard surface design's extremely difficult. I just gotta keep slowly try figuring things out, right? And I don't know if I'm leaning too much into thinking and not enough into like general ideation and experimentation, but the main thing right now should honestly be holding this projection and then putting simple shapes that are aesthetically placed around it, like wrapping aesthetically placed simple shapes. I think if I can get enough practice of that, then hard surfacing things will come next level, or come easier, because the initial level of already wrapping simple shapes around and trying to make that make sense is going to already have been done, is what I think makes sense. Okay, but fuck, I dropped my pen. But let me actually put it into into practice. Let me rest my brain and then we'll get back to it. I encourage you to rest your brain as well. BRB. Okay, cool. So once again, looking at the reference, right? Trying to really understand this perspective. I feel as if I got it down. I feel it's definitely this. Yeah, like I feel as if this is as accurate as it. I say that for everything, but I feel as if this is pretty fucking accurate. So just gotta hold that again, hold that projection in my mind as I draw it, right? And yeah, it's clear that it's clear that I definitely need to make things simpler. I'm not, and by the way, this doesn't mean that all the complex work I've been doing is suddenly useless, right? I want to be very clear, because I know one criticism that I'll always get, or I have gotten, is like, why do you try to make things so complex? It's for the challenge. I love the challenge of really grinding my brain and making things complex, and then making them simple. Like, this, how I got to this point with any of this shit, even if it doesn't make sense, is because I kept chasing, visualizing, and understanding and internalizing complexity, and like really trying to push my brain, right? Now, it's clear, and it's highly likely, that it would be very beneficial to take a step back and now go the opposite way. Not super opposite, but just like, okay, you've established you know how to create generally complex shapes, but in order to make sure that they make sense, and in order to make sure that they have some logical flow to them, right? Like they connect. You know, the connection thing is one thing that I really struggle with. Okay, that is incorrect line. It's supposed to be a bit lower like that. But yeah, it's clear, like now the next step is to just ensure that I can draw simple shapes. And this is just me like thinking out loud, right? But the next step is seemingly that, okay, I see this angle is off. This was much clearer and I fucked this one up. So even if this is off, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna complete it. It's just good to know that it was off, right? But yeah, like what I'm trying to say, what I'm failing to say, what I'm trying to say, but yeah, what I'm failing to say, but what I'm trying to say, Jesus Christ, is that the complexity was not lost. I've gained a lot of skill when it comes to complexity. Like all this practice, like doing this for 80 plus reps, like throughout the past fucking 40 hours, is what allowed me to do this, right? It's what's allowed me to do this. You know, whether this makes sense or not, the point is I've been able to draw more complex shapes thanks to that, right? But now I think a very clear thing that's holding me back is kind of like connecting things together, and making them make sense. And I think that's where simplicity comes into play. Again, like this is an art progress channel, right? Watch me become great, sure, but also mainly watch me figure it out and show that figuring it out is really where everything like happens, right? So yeah, watch me become great, the whole like fucking tagline, hoo, watch me become great, whatever. But the point I'm always gonna try to make is like greatness comes with infinite failures. And I'm simply going to showcase and prove that anybody can become great, but it will be at the very necessary cost and the enjoyable cost of infinite failures. Ah, fuck that guy's nose up. That's a failure right there. But yeah, fucked his nose up badly. Holy shit. But yeah, I mean, I hope that makes sense to me and anybody watching is I know, like, I know that the first half of me doing these portraits are gonna be pretty much a drag for anybody who does watch, because it's gonna be like, why the fuck is he not getting better? Like, where is the progress? I'm so confused, right? The progress is happening. It's just very, very slow, and it's very difficult. Right, very slow, very difficult. I already fucked this perspective up anyways. Right, and I'm consistently trying to see that box and the center lines and the contour lines, or whatever the fuck, inside the sphere, inside the box. You know the whole ordeal. I'm always trying to see that. It's extremely difficult. Again, I genuinely feel like I'm always moving backwards. And it will feel that way for a very long time. Until I don't move backwards and you look back, and I look back 40 hours of practice prior, and I'm like, holy shit, a lot of shit happened. Right? A lot of shit happened. But either way, yeah, this is an inaccurate perspective, so this is not what I will be internalizing. I will be internalizing that, right? Which is a subtle difference. But either way, okay. So basically, we're transitioning from being like form wrapping hard surface shapes to just form wrapping simple shapes, but trying to think about their utility in terms of like hard surfaceness, right? Like in terms of their design, like what is an aesthetic way to make this design interesting? So right now, what I can do is this. I can do this. And just, oh fuck, I already fucked that up. And just by trying to keep it simple, I can already feel myself understanding a little bit more. Right? Just by trying to keep it simple. You know? Not, am I keeping it the simplest it can be? Probably not. Right? Probably not. Actually, yeah, let me... And again, I already made a lot of mistakes just now. Okay, so there's my sphere. I'm really trying to make sure that it all makes sense. Right? And while I do this, I'm also trying to make sure that like I can think about different little cutouts. Because I'm also like, again, I'm thinking about the box, I'm thinking about the sphere inside the box, and I'm thinking about the center lines inside the sphere inside the box. Right? But the main thing is also to calculate. Let's see. Because if this is the bottom, let's see, something like that, right? Something, okay, so I'm trying to calculate the diagonal here. So like in this plane, right, that is the bottom of this box. You know, roughly like this is the bottom of this box. I'm trying to be like, okay, if there's a dot here and there's a dot here, where is the diagonal? What's it gonna look like? It's gonna look something like that. But again, it's wrapping around the sphere. So this is actually even more difficult, to form wrap shapes, simple shapes, around an actual sphere and to make sense of it all, right? That's actually even more difficult. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to, this is killing my brain. I'm trying to think about the box, I'm trying to think about the sphere inside the box, and I'm trying to think about shapes that I can wrap inside the sphere, inside the box, right? So I think I can obviously, I say obviously, but I think I can do something like this, right? Where I should be able to do something like this, right? And then I should be able to do something like this. Just trying to figure this out, hold up. I should be able to do something like, because I'm trying to think, okay, like in this perspective, this is what the box is gonna be, right? So I'm just trying to think like, what cutout can I do for this, right? On this side, and maybe I can add a diagonal as well. And that's what's going to keep reinforcing the box. So like this is why the simple shapes matter, and this is why I'm trying to make them clear to myself. Right? Let's see. That's something like that. Okay, I see, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, what is this shape first? I should probably establish that more than anything, like what this fucking shape is. So we'll do that. We'll do that just now. We'll do something like this. There you go. That makes things a bit easier, right? And then what happens? Well, then let's say it comes outward, right? What was that noise? What the fuck? I just heard a weird ass noise. Something like that. It juts out something like that, right? And let's see, how else is this wrapped around? Well, I could do something like this. Again, it's wrapped around a sphere. Let's not forget that. I'm telling this again, all like these are all reminders to myself, but whether it makes sense or not, well, I don't know. We'll have to see whether it makes sense or not, right? But because it's also about trying to figure out how to place these simple shapes. Try to make them simple. Clearly, they're already kind of fucking missing their simplicity, right? But the point of all this is like try to make these simple shapes have some sort of like aesthetic appeal. It's extremely difficult. Oh my god, my brain is actually hurting. I just don't know. I just don't know. Like I literally just don't know how I can make this work. But I'll keep trying to figure it out. Right? Let's see, something like we could try. Let's see. Okay, maybe I want a sphere which has a cutout, which has a bent cylinder, and that is coming out like so. Right, maybe that is... Fuck, see, I fucked the sphere up too. There you go, maybe that does something. But again, how is this shape going to be simple? Right, how is this shape going to be simple? Let's see, how am I going to... Okay, how am I going to make this make sense over here? Like, what is this cutout gonna look like on the other side as well? Right, like what is this gonna look like? And what is this exactly? Like what do I want, I can't think of anything. I literally am so... I cannot think of anything. And I keep losing the box. That's incredible. It's actually amazing how fucking ass I am. But yeah, whatever, watch me become great. Oof, this is a lot of discomfort I'm in. I'm genuinely unable to think about anything that's even slightly remotely aesthetic or interesting, or just shapes that can be placed in a particular manner, right? I feel as if I just forgot everything that I possibly could have learned. Like genuinely feels like I forgot everything. Okay, box, see box. Sphere inside the box. Let's see, how do I want to make this look? How do I want to make it look? Right. Okay, well, I know I can at least do something like this, maybe? Oopsie. Okay, fucked up the perspective. There you go. Okay, maybe something like that, right? But how's that actually attached to the sphere? And again, what the fuck is happening here? This is extreme frustration. Not in a bad way, just like the pure discomfort and frustration of just trying to figure out a problem when you don't even know what that problem is, right? So again, I really have to try to think about the big shapes, right? The box, sphere inside the box, center lines. Okay, what are some quote-unquote aesthetic shapes that can be handled? Maybe this is the bottom. Okay, so clearly it has to be something like... Let's see. Okay, so what is the perspective again? Like, this is my box. We have something jutting out maybe like this. Right? So that means this has to be jutting out way more. And then what? How can this connect to that? Okay. I need to slowly try to figure this out. Oh my god, this is so difficult. I literally don't know what I'm doing. Okay, maybe that's a cutout, and maybe this is where that juts in like so. But what does that mean for... Okay, you know what? That means this can be multiple rounded, right? So what does that mean for the other side? we'll have to think about it in terms of, well, this is already incorrect, like what I did here. This is already incorrect. But it's okay, we'll leave it. Now I just have to think about, okay, what does that mean for the other side, right? Because this is the sphere. There you go. Okay, so that means I can do something like, oh, I can do something like this. That connects there. And then this is just very thin, right? Very thin, and it's multiple rounding, and I can just do something like that. Don't know if that works yet. No idea if that works yet. But this is the large shape that it's supposedly connected to. Oh my god, this is still so difficult. Okay, how do I want to make these wrap around? Yeah, how do I want to make these wrap around the sphere? Jesus Christ. Because this is all... See, I already fucked up the center line. Again, it's not... It's not bad. Like, this is actually still better than this. Like, slowly but surely, we're getting some foreshortening down. That makes a little bit more sense. But if that's what's happening here, then... I'm just trying to think. There's a few things that I can do with this, but let's just bring it to over there, right? And then this, we will have... There you go. Okay, the evenness of this shape. Now I just gotta figure out what this shape is. There's a lot of ways this shape could be something, but it needs to be a large shape, at least a shape that's wrapping around, right? Oh, this is so fucking difficult. I mean, I hope this is actually very transparent in just how ass I am. How ass I continue to be. Right, like this is actually not even wrapped around properly. Because if that's the sphere, then what's happening here? Like, yeah, like what the fuck is this sphere? It's coming around. Don't think I got the sphere properly at all either, to be honest. Oh my god, this is so fucking difficult. Let's see. Okay, we can maybe this can actually be something that's connected diagonally like so. You know, I know I said simple shapes, but you can see I struggle in general, right? Like quite a fucking bit. Hope you can see that. Like I'm really struggling to make things make sense. And I hope it showcases that this is just part of the process. There you go. We'll just connect it like that, whether it doesn't make sense, but it's okay. But this is a shape that, how can I wrap around? Yeah, I need to go even simpler than this. This is not even simple. Like, I genuinely just need to think fucking giant shapes on top of sphere. Put them in aesthetic manner. Like, that is just the first step that I need to think about. Like, this hard surface shit is most likely probably fucking with more things than it's helping. At least in terms of the way I'm trying to do it. Who knows? Who knows? I could be wrong. I could be right. I could be wrong. Who fucking knows? But let's see. Maybe, okay, because again, I do want to reinforce the perspective. Maybe something like this. Right, so what does that mean over here? It's just something like that, I guess, like wrapping around. Not that it makes any fucking sense. But I do want this too. Okay, now that's wrapped around there, like it's a big shape. Maybe, let's see, what does this result in if I wrap around like so? Okay, now this shape is the large shape then. And that means, hold up, maybe I can add something here as well, right? Maybe, because that is obviously the sphere. So what do I want to add? Why don't we actually just really fuck with the silhouette by adding a shape like this. Now, because I really fucked with the silhouette, I have to think how that makes sense on the other side. Right? Because I really fucked with the silhouette here. So it's like, how does this shape even make sense? Which is good. Like, I like this problem to solve, to be honest. See, now I can kind of, this is me trying to do the whole like play thing, right? So if the angle is this way and then I have something that way, then on the other hand, it should be something that is, okay, if it's over there, then it's, yeah, that's coming out here, then something like that, right? If that's what's happening, there you go. And something like that? Is that accurate? I don't think it's accurate. Definitely don't think it's accurate. Yeah, definitely don't think it's accurate. What is happening here? What did this shape turn into? What did I do over here? How is that angle not connected? How did I fuck that up to that extent? It should be... There you go. Maybe that's a bit better. Right, but even then... So what is this reflected as on this side? It's... If it's going in this way, we still connect it. Right, we try to make sense of it. And then we can add maybe some shapes here. Right, definitely fucked with the silhouette quite a bit. Right, maybe we'll just have some piping. Or cabling, sorry. Yeah, I definitely need to... Definitely need to fucking... think way more than I have been. This is incorrect. This has to be incorrect. I don't think I got the perspective to that down at all. The foreshortening, everything. Nothing really makes sense there. But again, we can try to... We can try, being the operative word, I'm gonna try to make it seem as if there's a connection that it can occur. And that would be, because again, I have to think about it in perspective, that would be... It's like that, and then we can have it angled like this. Yeah, well, this is still the bottom angle. This is just drastically angled, right? This thing is just drastically angled. And we can have it... Let's see, I'm trying to think about the box still. I am trying. Trust me, when even if it doesn't look like I'm trying at all, I am fucking killing my brain trying to figure this shit out. Genuinely. At least, like, even though the foreshortening isn't accurate, at least, like, the angling's gotten a lot better. Right, like, the angling's gotten a lot better. Let's see. And this can just be maybe some bolts, right? There you go, something like that. Now, it's like this has to be that big shape, and I angled it upwards, like I angled this thing upwards, but let's see. What can that mean in terms of like still making it look like it's part of the bottom angle, right? What can I do here to still make it seem as if it's angled in a way that is the bottom angle? Well, while I do that, at least I can try to figure this out. Which clearly I can actually just connect like so, perhaps? Right? And then this can just go inwards in and of itself, and there's like something there. I don't fucking know. Right? And then this is like a little... There you go. Something like that. Like it's to showcase maybe that this is also a surface. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. There you go. That doesn't make any sense either. It's been almost an hour. Still trying to figure out these shapes, but We see that on the other side, and then let's see, we can just bring this, if that's the center, let's try to maybe make sense of it. There you go, maybe that makes sense, maybe it doesn't. Probably doesn't, this definitely is fucking convoluted as shit. And then this is the, let's see, if this is the fucking center, that's the center, right? We'll just have it, yeah, we'll just do something like this. There's a nice little curve, it's just something cut out. Although the lines do not make it look good, those lines are way too thick, right? Yeah, but like, still trying to figure this out. Anyways, what can this be? What can this be? Let's just, like, how is this gonna be connected? Because I made a jut out, and this is angled a bit awkwardly, obviously. Like, it's definitely angled a bit awkwardly. There you go. If it's attached like that, then the other side also has to be attached like that, right? Yeah, this is way too foreshortened now, I see. That's actually way too foreshortened. It doesn't really hold up with what's happening here. Right, that's a bit better, but even then, still, should probably be something like that. But either way, that's way too foreshortened. I think. To be very clear, like, I'm not certain. And then, what can we do over here for this shape to make it seem as if it's not shit? Or should I just follow the perspective? Like, it's jutting forward, right? We could do something like it's jutting outward. Like, we're gonna emphasize that it's jutting outward even more so. Right? I mean, this is all good practice for my lines in of itself. Right? And then it is wrapping around. Let's see, it is wrapping around, Yeah, we could do something like that. There you go. There you go. This, well, okay, we'll have it, this is like multiple rounding, right? So we'll have this come out like so. There you go. Does that make sense? I don't think it does. And this is obviously separate from the other one. Yeah, see, it's so muddied here. Okay, I don't know what the fuck I did. I genuinely don't know what the fuck I did. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it. This is a fucking, again, holy shit, that was like extremely painful in a good way. Sorry, pain isn't the right word. That was a lot of cognitive friction, but I think I'm slowly, wow, what a shock that I say this at the end of every session, and then it feels like I haven't learned it, but I'll say it anyways. I think I'm slowly starting to understand. But I really need to train myself for the next 25 repetitions, clearly, right? Because it's up to 50 and onwards. It's just try to think about the simplest shapes, and then, okay, try to think about like 2 to 3 shapes and how they can connect. I think that's the main thing. Try to think about 2 to 3 shapes and how they can connect, and then start adding slight manipulations while still keeping them relatively simple. Like, what I mean is, I should probably, if I'm going to be wrapping around a sphere, right, whether I'm breaking the perspective of the sphere or not, like if I want to put something in this perspective, I should be like around the sphere. Let's say like I want something that has this, right, wrapping around, whatever, that I should think about, okay, how is this going to connect with maybe another like box shape, whatever, you know, that's slightly manipulated, bent, whatever, around the, what I keep saying, whatever, anyways, whatever, fucking the point is, try to think about general shapes wrapped around the sphere, and then think about how they may be connected, and then start adding manipulations. That is very difficult, like what I just explained, like just the way to think about that is, I'm not saying it's easy, it's extremely difficult, but I think it will be beneficial in the long term. But, you know, first, fucking, let's stop fucking it all up, right? There you go. That looks a little bit better. still off perspective slightly, but yeah, see up here, it's off perspective. I fucked it up. So we can just add that. It's like, oh look, now it's on perspective again, kind of. But anyways, I mean, I hope this was informative to anybody who thinks I'm anywhere when it comes to my art progress. Is like, it's always fucking 1 step forward, 5 steps back, and that was extremely difficult. I'll be back in like 20 minutes to continue this practice, right? Another 2 heads or whatever, but I'm gonna, and after like I do this angle 2 times more, we're gonna move on to the next angle, because I feel as if I've gotten a decent amount out of this angle, so there's no point in really pushing it. I mean, there is a point in pushing it, but there's no point in overstaying its welcome, I think. Like I've done fucking 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16 repetitions technically, right? Because I know I said 50 rep rule, but it's like 100 reps that I'm doing, because I'm doing it over and over again while holding the projection, which is even more difficult. But either way, I hope you put a lot of effort in. I hope you enjoyed. Right? That was really difficult. This especially was a complete clusterfuck. But I'm just gonna keep trying. I'm just gonna keep trying and gonna keep trying. And at one point something will click, because I'm gonna keep trying to learn and understand what's working and what isn't. But with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me. Is that what I do? Yeah, please give me money. Okay, bye.